to see who rises through into the round of 16. All the marbles definitely going to be thrown out here, Neo. Only one team qualifies. One team will be eliminated and have to give it a shot in the last qualifier of the lot. Eyeballers on the CT side. Eternal Fire on the T side. Let's see how things go.
An interesting game to the least, and it's a best of one to decide who continues this dream run to try and net themselves a little spicy spot in the summers of Mold. We'll have to wait and see. Over towards Rams and Torres. Not a look-see. Nothing to meet him and greet him so far.
Slow. Methodical. Don't want to slip up here. They seem to have an idea that JW could be in on sandbags. Someone's going to have to check the angle, but it goes unnoticed. JW finds the first, trying to dance back and forth between the sandbags. Paz will have to trade. Great shot from Major as the late lurk out middle gifts Eternal Fire the leg up. Bomb will be planted, but it will in fact try to be denied by Sapek. The dualies misinput may be, but he will find the kill eventually. But that bomb down. Retake required, but Sapek's found a second. Heads are rolling with the dualies. Flash is just going to try and stick it here. It's a 5-second hold. He's got time. He's got the bodies to get in the way, and he's got Sapek finding 3. Eyeballers with the pistol.
And you know what they say? 2 guns better than 1, proved here by the dualies. To finish things off there for Sapek. Really well done by Eyeballers. And of course, it's all off the back of that starting position. JW parked up, posted up, and all he has to do individually is buy time. It's simple, it's effective, and it denies presence for Eternal Fire over toward the A side. It's a dream start for Eyeballers on that CT side, and of course, it's a question of how far can they now continue to take this. For Eternal Fire, bomb down does give them some money to work with, and they're still deliberating on what decision they even want to go for. What are they trying to decide here? Still in towards their spawn. We're going to finally post up and look towards mid.
Bomb trucks over. Emil wants to create some space with the SMG. Xantares getting the little jump spot, making sure that there's no scope weapon holding down the angle, or maybe the M4 or a FAMAS of some sort. Eyeballers... better weaponry, lesser utility though, so that's a trade-off they had to make investing into this round, Neo. Not the worst decision to be making, and for Eyeballers as well, having ranged weapons over Eternal Fire is definitely something they were looking into. Fast play towards B. Immor's the first person to launch himself in, but he had the C4, which means Eternal Fire, they're going to have to commit quite quickly here towards B, or at least if they want the bomb back, they're going to have to make that committal. Sapek just chucking the nade through the smoke, making sure no one's playing up close and personal. But for Eternal Fire, they've got 45 seconds to work with, but they are the man down.
Yeah, it's a great flash as well, because it denies Eternal Fire's presence in towards mid. They have to take a step back. And as you mentioned, unfortunately for Amor, the great initiative to go aggressive, to try and find a little bit of space, try and find his way towards that B side. But unfortunately, that bomb stuck in no man's land. And for Eyeballers, all they have to do is hold this one singular position. They don't even care about anything else. They just have to deny the presence. 20 seconds left. JW going to find one. Pass in for the trade. They know JW's close and personal with a FAMAS, and he's cautious of a flank.
4v3. Eternal Fire at least getting away with a little bit of damage. But Svedge ahead. Seems to have sting covers here with the MP9 as he makes the hat-trick. Last man left is Major. No time to get that bomb down or take down Eyeballers by means of elimination. So he's just going to be looking to save that A1S and lots of space given to him to do exactly that. Eyeballers 2-0 ahead. I mean, a pretty good start here for the CT side. The Swedes definitely looking good. I think the real question is, though, how far can they run with this momentum? Right now, Major, he's going to have no money. For the rest of Eternal Fire, it's an eco. Already the mismatch buy coming in. I think they're just going to be hoping that Major can get a drop across into the next round.
Yeah, that's it, that's it. And of course, remember, this is a best of one. First 16 rounds to try and find success. There's no room for error. There's no trying to play for your map, so to say. You have to do it here and now. It's do or die. Single elim. Lose this and you're out for the count. And Eternal Fire, they'll be feeling that pressure already. Major going for a little peek in towards stairs. Not going to spot too much for the time being, but a beauty flash will come through to buy them some time.
And more importantly, it distances themselves even further, right? To just try and disallow the Deagles and maybe the M4 specifically of Major having any use. The jump spot would have been found. Svedge ahead catching Major for basically no damage. But at least they know that the M4A1S sits there. Nice big spam, but no kill. The molly definitely will finish the job. And unfortunately, burns the other side. Immor can't pick up the M4A1S, which means now the committal consists of just these pistols. Great shot from Immor as he drops away. The fadeaway shot definitely connecting. And actually a man advantage here for Eternal Fire.
They can hold and wait. Eternal Fire know they've got a bit of time to burn. 45 seconds on the clock. Yes, the weaponry isn't great. And of course, most importantly, the one rifle they had in the hands of Major did get burnt to a crisp in that Molotov. A tough one to collect at the least. They're going to double back over towards ramp. They're just going to try and play contact over towards A side because their utility is just not good enough.
Noise going to be made. Breaking the silence. Sapek will know about it. Molly dropped in on default. There's 18 seconds left. He's got a second Molly as well. So Eternal Fire, yeah, you're going to have to be planted in the open here. And that runs right into the jaws of Immor. In fact, they lob the bomb into the Molly. And Eternal Fire will be welcomed into the meat grinder. 4 seconds. They're going to play this so smart. Eyeballers are going to give Immor and Paz $0 to work with. And both players fall over time. That is genius from the Swedes.
3-0. Of course, we did say that wasn't really too much of an investment coming through, but of course, it doesn't really look that great until round number 4 either. I mean, look at them all. Not a great economy. Paz isn't the same, and Major's not doing too much prettier either. 3.2k to his name is borderline stark broke. It's going to be a bit of a hero buy round in towards round number 4 for Eternal Fire. Double AK setup, 1 Mac 10. A Deagle and a Tech down. I gotta say, Retro, for me, at this sort of situation, this sort of somewhat-ish latest stage, I'm getting a little bit concerned for Eternal Fire, letting this one just seem to slip away.
Well, I think the money's the big issue, right? Like,
yeah.
We had 1 player save in the previous round. We had 2 players die after time in this round. They didn't get any weapons saved across into the next round. You can see Paz and Immor palmed off with pistols. The rest of the squad, well, Major was the player to save the M4 in round 2, so he's stuck with a Mac 10. Like, this is just a terrible, terrible buy here for Eternal Fire. For Eyeballers, a really good chance at making some extra cash and not really harming their own economy in the process. Let's see what they've got in store for us here, though, the Eternal Fire squad. Flashes are going to be lobbed in at the masses, and the B site actually falling in their hands. Nade from Immor just going to try and catch some of these players off. Great nade damage done by Immor. And actually, the bomb, it will get planted.
Yeah, bomb goes down. That's the important thing. Post-bomb sets up, and look at the HP of Eyeballers. It is in a dire state right now. Svedjehead, 38 points of HP. Flushes down to 66, and Svedjehead will fall first. Santoras in, but a quick trade comes through from Shine. Looking for more as JW delivers through his own teammate, in fact. And 1 spot into his back wide. The MP9 at this range only got 1 thing on his mind, and it's frags to the name. Waxing holding post, double down. Finds the 32, but Eyeballers just about with the skin of their teeth win it.
Oh my good God, Woxic. That was nearly the sickest clutch we would have seen. Oh, man.
3 out of 4, too.
Nice try, Woxic. Very nice try. Benefits from the bomb plant. Everyone has money. Utility isn't going to be looking too good, but man, do they have weapons to bring forward. Woxic's even got out the big green. Eyeballers, they've got next to no cash, so while we were complimenting the Swedes for doing so well at the beginning, how quick does that change simply after a single round?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the real positive sign is that we've got bomb plant coming through. They've got a much more stable economy, or so I say. One of the AKs already out for the count. Paz will fall 6 feet under, and the numbers favor Eyeballers once again, and this seems to be such a consistent factor.
They have been picking up the man advantages what feels like every single round. Woxic's been naded down to 50. Zantares has had a bit of damage done to him, but a brilliant shot from Woxic levels the numbers at least to the surface. Question is what they can develop here, sort of in the mid-round. No external factor for Eternal Fire here. All 4 players will just have to be clumped together to go for a, what seems to be B play. 50 seconds left. Slow once more for Eternal Fire as they work out what they want to be doing next.
So that Gen Smoke will come through. This means that B take's going to come in. They're not even going to test the wards over towards A. No one's over towards B from Eyeballers to meet them. Santora's going to find the first. Looking for 2, and he doubles down. Can he find it? Labored spray, but will just about be able to clinch that kill. And that might even be enough for the round.
I think it is. JW and Shine haven't really got much left to do here. No point running this down in a 2-on-4. It just has to be done. They're going to wrap this one up and give Eternal Fire their first to pencil in a very big milestone for them to break that Eyeballers momentum, but more accurately, break them down completely, because financially, feels like they're done for. They are going to have to go for a force buy because they're on single round loss bonus. But this only gives Eternal Fire more window of opportunity to exploit, because while JW and Shine save, Sapek may just be able to scrape a FAMAS and some utility together. Svedjahead and Flusher, no doubt about it, they're going to be on pistols, maybe an SMG on Sved. This is a really good opportunity now for Eternal Fire to repay the favor from earlier on.
Yeah, no, it is. It's so far so good, right? I mean, 4-1. Good start for Eternal Fire, finally finding that first round on the board. And you mentioned, kind of, you look towards Eyeballers, the economy themselves not looking great. Tacball is going to come through, and I'd probably assume it's called by Eyeballers due to the very, very janky economic situation over there, where JW and Shine are okay for a buy, but the rest of them isn't looking super pretty at all. And of course, this can be a decent moment to sort of catch you guys up on how the rest of the games are going right now. So I'll leave the big one to last. Fantasy are beating LFO 8-2 right now. Of course, we've got the Eyeballers game on here. Game of Legion tied 3 apiece with Zero Tenacity. Ecstatic winning 6-3. Finest are 10-1 up against Partizan. I'll scroll by, see sort of the big Tropic 8-1 up, looking good over there. Heat are losing 6-2 to EC Kiev. Gregrechi are beating Endpoint right now, but I think the big one that everyone's keeping their eyes on is Astralis are 6-1 down to Los Cagutos.
Of course, if you want to get coverage, you can go and check out the HLTV page for this one. IEM Road 2022 Europe Open Qualifier 3. 5 slots at the RMR given away here. Need to win 2 best-of-1s and 1 best-of-3 to push you there. Definitely going to be a grueling day, just like the previous. But it is very, very doable. Eyeballers in a scenario right now. 4-1 up against Eternal Fire. Quarter of the way there. 12 more rounds is what's required for them to knock out the Turks from this tournament. I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble water though, Neo, because this round consists of a very weird buy. 2 M4s, 2 MP9s, and a P250. Not ideal, to say the least.
Yeah, you know, the MP9s have a little bit of favour to them, especially in these close-range positions, but it's still not, of course, the AWPs, the AKs. Trade will come through as also Beck can opt for the utility after taking quite a significant amount of damage. And Moore's going to get that bomb. And it's looking like Eternal Fire are deciding to finish towards the A site.
Nicely done. Big damage done by Major. Sure, it's not a kill, but definitely tenses up Eyeballers on the mid-play, and that puts them into a little bit of shock. Shine's going to take a bit of damage here. Smoke dropped in by JW. And a great nade done to Eternal Fire. 30 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to get a move on here. Shine, elevated angle, will go down. Xantares takes big chunks for it, though. And I'm wondering, JW, is he even going to get cleared? There's 18 seconds left. They chuck the bomb out, and it is indeed a first kill for him. Or JW will drop the C4 out. 10 seconds left. They have to get a move on. There's only 2 players left here for Eyeballers. The bomb has to be their priority. The molly's going to do big damage, but with 5 seconds to spare, Eternal Fire will punch in the digits, but look at the HP. This is a really doable round for Svedjahead. First, second, but not the third. Woxit's held things down, and the AWP crucially finds a second for Eternal Fire.
God, Eternal Fire get a little bit fortunate there, especially when you look towards kind of Woxic and Major being quite literally 1 MP9 bullet away from death. And then with that post-spawn not being in the most stable of states, there was a world and a realm of possibility with that MP9 finding some success. Not going to be the case, though. And unfortunately for Eyeballers, that slightly inopportune buy that we talked about, where it was kind of double MP9 setup, a double M401S, and a pistol coming through, it required a little bit of hopium to be able to find some success. And not the case now, of course, is just a full eco for them. Pistols coming out. The biggest upgrade they've got is a P250, so gotta be honest, I can't expect too much of them.
3 P250s and 2 USPs. Definitely not an ideal one here for Eyeballers. Let's see what they've got in their back pocket, though, to showcase and maybe do some damage to this Eternal Fire side, because they themselves aren't the healthiest financially either. Great first kill from Xantares, man. That is a brilliant, brilliant shot. Getting aggressive here, Amor. Able to find Flusher already. We're starting to dwindle away these pistols, Neo. And, well, as expected, Eternal Fire will find themselves a third. A pretty close game to start out with. This is cool to see.
That's what we love to see as well. I mean, we mentioned starting out yesterday, we had a lot of very one-sided games. There were, 16-2s, 16-3s, etc. Now we're getting a little bit more of a spicy affair. Speaking of, Shine's going to find himself on with the PT-50. Upgrades to an AK-47, but only for a moment in time before he is decimated by the AK-47 of Zantares. All alone, JW, nowhere to be seen. Trying to see potentially if he can collect himself or salvage any sort of exit, but no one's going to end or finish off in his direction. Eternal Fire, bring this game to within one. And it's as you mentioned, Ryan. I mean, this has been so far a very, very even showing, which is exactly what we want to see in these best of ones, where it's these big name sides.
Let's see what Eyeballers can pump up together in this full buy scenario. Flusher's gone for an MP9, I'm guessing, just so he can get the extra util. For the rest of Eyeballers, it's M4s across the board. Only thing that stops the, well, I guess the rifles being mirrored is rather than MP9, Eternal Fire, they have AKs and an AWP. And that could be the big impact, Neo. We've seen Woxic deliver some very, very nice stuff on the AWP throughout the tournament so far. Would just be a normal day for him, but a pretty important one for the organisation and I guess the fans as well. I do believe, if I'm correct in saying, they made the last major, right? So,
yeah,
definitely a chance there for them to do the same here as Paz able to open up the kill feed. Flusher caught out early doors.
I think on the other side, you look towards Eyeballers, especially the likes of JW and Flusher. They want to relive their previous success. At one point, those two were part of some of the most successful teams and organizations that have ever competed within CSGO, and they want to get back to their former glory, right? They've kind of had a little bit of a step away from the limelight of Tier 1, and now they're trying to use this kind of newfound youth to get there. The question is, can they? Pass swinging in. Good for one. Sapek will fall, and that more or less confirms them that A site, the bomb should go down, post barn to be set up, and Eyeball is going to struggle in a retake.
5v3, and the numbers slimmed even more so. Sure that Shine's able to get one kill here, but this is just exit frags for Eyeballers. They're going to have to save, and that allows Eternal Fire to continue to play the game of chase. Very, very impressive stuff to see. 4-all, Neo. We're tied up heading into round 9.
Eternal Fire have got the complete control of the momentum right now. It's all in their hands, all in their playstyle. It's been, I've got to say, a stunning showing in terms of turning this one back on its head because of, at times, how rough things were. Look, a lovely shot from Shine. He'll double down at the very least. So, Eternal Fire go hunting. They're not going to be left with too much. Can he salvage an AK-47? The answer is yes. So, slight positives. Ever so slight positives. But, of course, the most important thing is, well, the T-side of Eternal Fire, as you mentioned, they've tied this game up. 4 rounds apiece. And they've got a much, much better control of the tempo, the pace of this game. What was a slow start is no longer the case.
Pause coming in. First and foremost, my guess would be tactical. And it would be for the Eyeballers side. Indeed, it will be. They've got to think, well, really, what they want to be doing next, Theo. Because right now, the buy isn't in the best of places. Vedgehead and Shine Shaw both with AKs, but everyone else has to take an eco for the next round. And that always gives a good impression here as Eyeballers, well, lesser weaponry, easier job for Eternal Fire. Round number 9. What can the Turks supply? AWP shot fired off. Woxic will take 1 HP to the nade. No problems at all here. And Eyeballers, I guess, just going to try and safeguard as much control as they can with these rifles as the shots fly through the smoke in on ramp.
Yeah, for how Eyeballers are now set up, they have to be very, very cautious of what they want to do with those AK-47s, and that is very risky. And you can see already the decision coming through. Drop it over towards Sapek. He's only got that body armor, but it's better than nothing. Shine now going to have to make things do with just a deagle or a bit of utility to work with. Over towards the B site. Only Svedjehead there to meet them.
And the utility will pour in towards the B site. Eternal Fire really want a way back in as Zantares will try and make room on the entry. Svedjehead kind of forced away here with the AK. Doesn't want to risk it and turn it over to the wrong forces. And that's the same job here for Sapek. Longer distance engagement will find the first. JW falls, so level here in the 4-on-4. Flash has found a kill. That's 3 AKs now for the CT side. Xantares, oh, this position, this angle, unchecked by the Eyeballer's squad as he finds himself a double. Sledge ahead will respond. Big damage done by Eyeballers, but it's Eternal Fire up to 5.
Eternal Fire, look how things have turned on their head. Eyeballers were steamrolling the start of this game. Their CT performances started brilliantly, and I think, as we mentioned, the biggest thing that Eternal Fire were really struggling with was their economy, right? It wasn't in check, very unstable. The buys were a little bit all over the place. You kind of had, you know, Major picking up a rifle and the rest of his team on pistols, barely even armor. Now that they've corrected that slight facet in their playstyle, look how things have turned around. 5 consecutive for them, and for Eternal Fire, they aren't going to be stopped at any time. Eyeballers need to be cautious that they themselves lose complete control of this game.
Flash dropped in. Imor, great entry pathing. Xantares' flash has gifted the leg up. Sapek's got to be careful not to lose his life. Major very close to taking him down. He's able to escape with the majority of his HP, but could have looked a lot worse for him. With 1:20 to go, Eternal Fire very vocal on this ramp control. A lot of ammunition used, but more so, it has actually gifted them said control, so can't be too angry about it as Eternal Fire now slow things down in the mid-round and recalculate what they want to be doing and where they want to end up at the end.
Tempo again slowed down. And this is what Eternal Fire for me have been really strong at. Ooh, bit of damage through the yellow tarpauling, but Sapek, I don't think he's aware he even tagged him, or he maybe had a slight inkling. He needs to be cautious. Swing comes in as Xantares. He's always going to win when it comes to a swing. The guy can't be stopped. Lightning fast. As they now make a hit over towards the B side, one towards that back side. Svenyenko with the first, doubles down. In fact, it's a messy spray, but he converts it nonetheless. Looking for 3 with a pistol whipped out, and surely going to finish him off, and it will.
Shine, not in a terrible scenario, if I'm honest with you. 2 players low, 1 player definitely killable, and both players now quite low. Xantares will have to swing out with the AK, gets the information. Didn't see anyone on the first attempt. Nor did I see anyone when I swung to the right, but I hear the bullets. And I know exactly where he lies. Shine with no kit though, so he's going to have to get a move on. Spots out the AWP and he knows that there's a second man in on white box. He's just about taking the right fights at the right times. Still swinging, still trying to bait out Woxic, but he's just dancing on the pillar. Can't get the shot done. Shine low HP. The AWP of Woxic to claim the last. And Eternal Fire, 6-4.
Whoa. I think this is already getting to a very concerning space where you're seeing a few people step up for Eyeballers, but the general consensus just hasn't been good enough. And credit to Eternal Fire. We've seen the big name step up when they need to. Xantares has been consistently finding opening kills, and on top of that as well, multi-kills as well. He's been one of those factors who's delivering. Woxic 2 only 1 kills behind. I mean, he has been putting up a significantly damaging performance with that AWP, and well, as we mentioned, Eyeballers, we said they were in a sticky state, and now they're down to a low buy. Just the upgraded pistols coming through. Bit of utility. Not even all of them can pick up armor.
The next step. Definitely has to be a careful one here. JW, really good timing. Got the first kill. Imor actually quite tagged up here by Sapek. Does fall down. But a 4 versus 4. This isn't the worst scenario to be in here for Eyeballers. Definitely could have looked a lot worse for where. HE from Flusher will do nothing. And Eternal Fire, just like last round, they make noise towards A and they look back towards B.
It still looks like it should be in favor of Eternal Fire, just in terms of firepower. And they're going back to their default. Their standard plays that we've seen time and time again from Eternal Fire. Test the water over towards ramp, see what they can find. See if it's an easy take. If it's not, get a kill, fall back, and test the waters back over towards B. And that's what we're seeing. Hence why Eyeballers are so quick on the rotation. Flush are going to drop his smoke in towards front side. Diego post up close. Put the double in back towards A. And this is a dream of a call.
Yeah. I don't know, who called the mid-round exactly. But I can only guess that they're going to be rewarded with screams of joy, unless JW has something to say about it. First kill is his. Molly dropped in on default. Great shot by Major, but this is going to cause some panic now for Eternal Fire. The next fight is crucial to be won, and Major will indeed close that one out. A third kill for Major, looking for 4. Low HP for Svedge ahead. He won't be facing in this time. The AWP of Immor does miss, but he will collect on the second attempt. Great flick shot as well. Low HP for the remaining 3, but it matters that Eternal Fire crossed the finish line. It's 7-4.
Lightning fast on that shot as well. Love to see it. 3-round gap built up, and at times Vertigo has been contested as being one of the slightly more CT-sided maps, and it's not been the case here. Eternal Fire, this aggressive nature, this aggressive playstyle is exactly what is their home ground, and it is working a dream right now. 3-round gap that they held over Eyeballers, and a similar scenario for them, where yes, a full buy comes through, failure to convert drops them back to a double eco situation. This rinse and repeat cycle that they are stuck in needs to be broken if they want any chance of even salvaging this best of 1.
See what they've got in their back pocket. Eyeballers, I mean, what, they went 4-0 up, right? So
yeah,
somehow we're in a scenario where we've gone from 4-0 up to 7-4 down. Eternal Fire really want to be putting up bigger numbers here, though, to, you know, enhance their odds of winning this map and close things out as quickly as possible. Woxic does take a bit of early damage, and while the attempt was this mid-possession, Eyeballers haven't done a bad job in sort of ushering them away with utility.
At least kept them at a spacious range. They've kept them at bay. They've not allowed them to go too aggressive thus far. Sapek's cautious of the A site being made slightly vulnerable. He actually does have a lot more space to work with than he realizes, because Eternal Fire are very, very slowly making their way over towards ramp, and he's working out the utility thus far. Smoker coming towards front ramp. They're going to push through, I'm assuming.
The next move, a very, very important one. JW, he has the lineups. That smoke just to give Eyeballers a little bit more presence in on short. Sapek doesn't expect the flash, and for that Xantares rewarded with an opener. Oh, Xantares! It is just such crisp aim from him, man. Like, he never fails to surprise. He never fails to impress. A lethal 2K, and that gives Eternal Fire an 8, because Svedge ahead and Flusher, a lot of clutching to be done between them here in a 2 versus 4. And sure, you have the tenure and the ability of Flusher and Svedge ahead. And the first kill sure does go their way. A second one could be as well. Svedge ahead, tapping away. Xantares, low HP, will eventually fall. Doesn't stop Paz from trading things out, though. And Flusher, low HP. That's the end of their run in round 12. It will indeed be 8 on the board for the Turks here. 4 still for Eyeballers.
I'm getting very worried. If you're a Swedish fan of Counter-Strike, you yourself must be sitting at home, edge of your seat, just begging, hoping that Eyeballers can find a little bit of success. And I gotta say, I don't see it coming anymore. Eternal Fire have been stunning. I think they took, you know, a couple of rounds to wake up. They were a little bit sleepy, getting the sleep out of their eyes. Now they are wide awake, and they are unstoppable thus far. We have seen every now and again a couple of shining lights from Eyeballers, but it's not been the case in the grand scheme of things. Eternal Fire, that is 8 consecutive rounds of T-side Vertigo in their favor. I mean, what a showing.
Oh, that's very close. But it has been Eyeballers rewarded with a man advantage here, Neo. So a slight change of pace. Eyeballers getting the faces of Eternal Fire, and actually rewarded for their early actions. 4 versus 3. Still rifles to work with, though, for the T side. Great nade from Xantares. Drops in a molly as well. Will go for the same flashbang that he punished Sapek with in the previous. But actually now just taking that control, and Eyeballers will give them such. Still that opportunity for Eyeballers to turn this one around, though. A double AWP setup. Crazy.
Oh, brilliant. Immor. In towards Tetris. Sapek had no chance. He is fragged out of this round. Eternal Fire gonna bring it back to a 3 versus 3. Flush so low on HP, but Eyeball's got a double AWP setup to try and retake. Shines the Eagle, though. Does one better.
2v3. Bomb ticking down. Great shot from Major. Will kick things off nicely in favor of Eternal Fire. Bring the numbers back level. Still no kit for Eyeballers in this round. I wasn't quite sure if they invested one to begin with, so if they didn't, the odds look even slimmer. Eyeballers need to pick it up if they want to find themselves victorious in this round. Major a second. The smoke actually misses the bomb as well. And JW slips the net. He is in on lane. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to save this AWP. Major looks to have a keen eye on lane. JW will take one down. Bidimor's response leaves only one man left on the server at the end of round 12. It is indeed Eternal Fire to have the... Or round 13, excuse me. It is indeed Eternal Fire to have 9.
Yeah, sweet, sweet success from Eternal Fire. Like a Turkish delight, they are loving life in the server right now. 5-round lead that they hold over Eyeballers, and the Swedes are starting to struggle. I mean, this is really unfortunate to see, especially with how things started in this best of one. 4 consecutive rounds from the CT side was looking brilliant, and now heading into the penultimate round of the half, they could be going down to double digits, but Svedhead, again, aggression works in their favor.
But how many times have we seen Eyeballers with the man up? And how many times have we seen them lose rounds? Still got to keep that one there. Turkish squad have been putting in one hell of a shift on this T side. To think that they were 4-0 down to begin with as well, Neo. And still ending the half with at least a guaranteed 3-round lead. That's massive for them heading onto that CT side. Question is, how far can they run with this one, though? So far, so good. Eyeballers showing a bit of a reaction in on ramp. Taking some control. Eternal Fire having none of it. And instead, look at this positioning. They found themselves all the way through middle. Sapek won't expect it. Jiggles into the angle. Woxic with 2. Major the 3rd. And there you have it, Neo. A perfect illustration painted to perfection by Eternal Fire. Sure, you have the man advantage, but we know how to take a round right back off you. JW looking to do the same. He does have the first and able to slip the net once more, but Woxic looking to close that gap himself. Flashbang lobbed in, AWP on the angle. Svedge ahead 1v3.
Yeah, Woxic, he's never missing that shot. JW, all the experience in the world isn't going to save you from that AWP bullets. Svedhead now, all alone, 1 versus 3 as you mentioned. And actually, it might even just be a save call. I'd be very surprised if it's not. $350 left in the bank. Yes, they got a loss bonus, but a 1 versus 3, play for exits. Play to see if you can find someone falling away to safety, but I doubt he'll even get that. If they really want to, Eternal Fire can even opt into a double AWP setup because there's one lying on the ground waiting for them, but Svedhead, no. He himself will upgrade to that AK-47. And Eternal Fire, they'll lock themselves in the beautiful double digits in the first half. It has been a stunning, shining light of a performance from the Turkish super team. And they are starting to, well, really fly towards success now. I mean, they look unstoppable. That is 10 consecutive rounds on the board. Unstopped, untapped. I mean, it's a nothing short of spectacular from the T side. We enter the final round of the half. Eyeballers, they look out of their depth.
I just want to give a special mention to Woxic so far.
Mm-hmm.
He's 12, 4, and 4. That's 12 kills, 4 assists, 4 deaths. The impact he's had on the AWP, it has been levels above anything Eyeballers wanted to present. A game flusher on an MP9 to start this round off. Sapek taking a fair chunk of damage to begin with as well. More to the point, Eternal Fire fighting for ramp control. And actually a man advantage here falls in favour of Eyeballers. JW finishes the job with the HEs, and Torres nearly catching Sapek off.
Tapping away a little bit. Already, better start from Eyeballers, but it's something you mentioned earlier. How many times have you seen Eyeballers take the man advantage and still fail to convert it? More often than not, in fact. And I'm not going to say I trust them so far. Nice pop flash to come through. Xantares will be caught off guard by it. JW's aggressive and close. And Svedhead and JW. Shine will have the cherry on top and at the half, 10-5. It's better than nothing, but it's still not good enough. 4 consecutive rounds is how Eyeballers started off this best of one. And then it was 10 in a row for Eternal Fire to dominate that first half. Yes, Eyeballers get that final shot, but there is still a long road to recovery.
Wowie. 10-5. Talk about a one-sided scoreline still, though. It was 4-0 up at one point in favour of Eyeballers. They find themselves at a 5-round deficit at the end of this first half. Waiting for Eternal Fire to ready up to get back into the action here. Xantares is eager. Everyone else not so much. Sometimes you just need to take a bit of a breather, you know, Neo. You know, stretch the legs.
Of course.
Grab a refill of the drink. Of whatever the choice is for Eternal Fire. What's the preferred choice? You know, do we go for a monster, or do we go for, you know, a water? I mean, I personally am a water drinker on stream. You know,
When you're playing or casting?
both. I think, you know, it depends, because if I'm playing a lot of Counter-Strike, then maybe I do turn to a monster, you know. But
Yeah.
if it's just, you know, an evening with the lads playing a couple of pugs, maybe not the level of gameplay we're seeing here, I'll tell you that now. But water's good, man. It's healthy as well. So
Yeah.
while I'm not touching grass, I'm definitely, you know, helping my body in the long run.
Do you know what, though? I actually had a really interesting conversation recently with a professional player for quote-unquote other game beginning with V.
Oh, and, how dare you!
And, well, one thing that I'm not going to mention that unsacred name, but one thing he did mention, actually, was how he doesn't think pro players should have caffeine, because he thinks fluctuating caffeine levels can affect your aim. Because you practice without caffeine and then play a game with caffeine, your body's different, right? And, of course, you want to practice in the same way that you play. Interesting thought. I kind of thought about it. I was like, he's got a point. I like it.
Yeah,
Either way, we'll get back to the actual Counter-Strike. But I thought that was a really good kind of food for thought kind of process. We'll get back into things. T-side start now, of course, for Eyeballers. And it's going bum rushing towards ramp. They want to get all the map control.
Yeah. I mean, Eternal Fire have actually kind of gambled more so towards A than anything. So Eyeballers have definitely got to be careful of their next move. Xantares taking the early face. He will actually engage in a couple of these players. Oh, Xantares finding two, and he slips away on 1 point of health. Woxic there to bail him out, and HE could land that does even more damage to Eyeballers. A 5 versus 2, a masterclass beginning here for the Turkish organisation. Flusher takes chunks out as well as the HE connects. A second one will deny the bomb plant, and it's JW against 5. A statement to be made here by Eternal Fire, as JW will try and fight for forgiveness. 1 kill to his name. Dooley's out. Immor from the skies will take him down. 11-5, 5 from victory, and Eternal Fire find their groove on the CT side. It's the pistol that goes their way.
Whoa. I think this might already now start to be the beginning of the end. Because Eternal Fire, they have continued the success of the prior half. And to get momentum already at such an early state, to deny Eyeballers any sort of success in towards that pistol round, especially when it looked like they probably should have taken it. Rough to see, to say the least. For Eternal Fire, much fuller buy for them coming out. For Eyeballers, is just the full Glock. Non-investment for them. No utility, no armor. They are just going in dry to try and deny anything they'll find. But the M4S will pick them away at range. Immor for 2s, and Tara's one of his own as a cherry on top. This is easy pickings. Eternal Fire surely momentarily up to 12.
They've got to be, don't they? Major's just gone aggressive with the MP9. Eyeballers on pistols, so it is expected that they run through this like a hot knife through butter. Any kills in favour of Eyeballers, that's what Svedja Head's going to be looking for. A dink is not good enough with the Glock. And Eternal Fire 12, Eyeballers 5.
I gotta say, I feel like this one, I don't know, this one for me already feels like we might be pulling into the final station of Eternal Fire walking away with the best of one here. Yeah, I think we got one train stop left. Choo-choo, we're on the tracks, and we're very nearly home because Eternal Fire look unstoppable. Eyeball's going to have a full buy coming in towards the third round of this second half. They've only got 5 rounds to the name. They desperately need a 6th.
Tag up. Bit of damage done to Immor. Doesn't stop him from slipping the net and getting in with that MP9. Eyeballers already kind of forced away. Oh, what is this HE lineup? Xantares, wow. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Mate,
off the box.
he lined it up with the sandbag, moved out, like held D and S at the same time, and managed to throw it like on top of the box. Pretty cool tech to see. Eternal Fire do fall themselves a man down though. Paz is going to be caught off guard on a bit of a B hit, and Eyeballers have the sight. Bomb plant as well. If I'm honest, if I'm Eternal Fire, I'm saving this round. This is done, and indeed so.
Agreed. Yeah, pull away. Play for X's, potentially play to try and... I think it actually would be a good idea to send those MP9s hunting. Send them to go and find frags. I think that's what they're doing. You can kind of see them making a movement. They're over towards ramp. I don't know if they want to actually go testing, but I wouldn't think it'd be a bad idea to potentially send the likes of you know, Major and Immor especially to go hunting for a frag. I mean, the long-term economy for eyeballers is minimal, more or less nothing, to be perfectly honest. You may as well try and drop an AK, even if it's at the cost of a life or two, because it's MP9. Major, if he really wants to, he can pick up an AWP, drop over towards Woxic, trade out for the M4A1S. Not being the case though, they are just going to park up in towards ramp, keep hold of what they've got. They're going to try and play to build up their economy long-term early doors rather than risk it potentially getting a little bit fragile, which is actually what was such a big problem for them in towards the start of this best of one, right? That fragile economic situation at the start was that was the sort of the biggest upset in why, you know, Eyeballers started off with a 4-0 lead. And of course, once they stabilized their economy, everything went in their favor. Eyeballers, though, up to 6. We finally see a round for them. And it's now more of a question of how far can they now take this.
(12-6). 4 from victory still, Eternal Fire. The save has given them a pretty decent chance. Flusher eats the nade. Square on. Molly at his feet. 15 points of health. I'm wondering, does Immor even want to try and spam here? Because Flusher's in that close corner. He's not getting out. Yep, HE, that'll be enough. No! Flusher somehow gets away. Immor's got a smoke to support. Paz is going to hear the molly that Svedjahead's thrown in on B. Returns with one of his own. Immor low, does get out of harm's way. Still a 5v5. How close on multiple occasions were Eternal Fire from finding that first kill?
I mean, Flusher, he is so fortunate to even be alive. Right, now 11 points of HP on AK-47 in hand. Woxic's parked up in towards backside. He's going to hold from range. He has a little bit of an angle there that gives him that pixel peak perfection. Immor himself, low HP as Antares, though. Going for the boost, waiting, holding, finding his Flusher will fall.
That was really, really well played. Catching them completely off guard on that boost. Nice AWP shot. Woxic finding the opening kill. Xantares dropped, though. Still the man advantage in favor of Eternal Fire. Brought back, though, for 2. Shine. Great first shot. But a 1 versus 3. And you have to walk into the AWP of Woxic at one point or another. And he has been on rails so far. 13-6. A 17th on the board for Woxic as an individual. And one step closer to victory. Eternal Fire. 3 from the ultimate goal.
Yeah, 3 from that lovely round number of 16. They are getting so close. As you mentioned, you had to eventually peek in towards Woxic at some point. And I'll probably argue of anyone in the server, he's probably the one I don't want to peek into. He is the scariest factor thus far in this game. 17-6. He's going out with 4 assists just as the icing on the cake too. I mean, what a performance from him individually. 13-6. They are creating and keeping an insurmountable lead. Yes, Eyeballers kind of a buy-in towards this next round, but failed to convert. Back to an eco, and this game more or less confirms itself.
Nice. And 4. Immor with doubles. That's a brilliant job. Able to get a reload off as well. Nearly takes down Flusher. 1 bullet to the chest will only add to the odds of Eternal Fire making it 14. HE dropped in by Major. Big nade damage done to Flusher. A second one as well. The cheek of him to try it. But in a 4 versus 3, Eternal Fire brought themselves great comfort in this lead. Nice shot from Xantares, and he's able to slip back towards cover as well. Svedjahead tries to play a game of face, and I don't think that's a headshot angle that will even favour Svedjahead against the likes of Xantares. The AWP of Woxic flanks for 1 more. Another clutch required for Shine. This time against 4. He's good for the first, but I think Xantares, should he be able to swing out, he will indeed find the kill. Eternal Fire, 2 away from knocking out Eyeballers.
And the young got to Shine there. You got to feel for him. He's against 2 of the most experienced players in Counter-Strike global offensive history, that are Xantares and Woxic, and Paz to add to the tally too is arguably the worst trio you want to be coming against. Hence why Eternal Fire collect that 14th with ease. This is so close to being done. And as I mentioned, for Eyeballers, not finding a bomb on there, not finding any success, really dampens their economy. And they've gone for a Force by 2. They've gone for the Glil, the Mac 10. That's what greater pistols to try and find success. It's such a risky buy.
Major. Oh, Major through the smoke with a second. Flusher's Mac 10 just going to try and claw back the numbers. But this is going to be very, very dangerous. 1 man to go. Flusher against all odds. M4A1S in his pocket. 4 players to find. Immor's on a big flank as well. The bomb's still yet to go down. And this only adds up in favor of Eternal Fire. The peak is going to be pretty good as the smoke starts to fade. Santorez has his number. And it's map series. A knockout point. Eternal Fire. 1 from victory and taking down Eyeballers here in the round of 32.
Yeah. They're so close to the all-elusive 16, and you just got to probably say that this one is done, right? It has been a very, very solid performance. Aside from these opening 4 rounds that went in favor of Eyeballers, it has been consistently brilliant. For the likes of Eternal Fire, you cannot fault them at all. The individuals have stepped up. The big names have come to the fray, and for Eyeballers, it has been an uncharacteristically slow performance, and they've paid the price for it. They are so far behind now in short guns. That's always the first. Sapek will fall.
That's brilliantly done. Immor as well, the second. Molly lobbed in. Flush is going to try and get a decent response. But Eyeballers, they start to crumble. They start to deform. And with 2 players to hold everything down, it's Svedjahed and JW. Khalil gone. The last man left. Svedjahed falls. And Eternal Fire 1 step closer. Eyeballers eliminated. It's unfortunate to see them go, Neo, but one team had to be dropped, and it is indeed Eyeballers that wave goodbye. They've got 1 more qualifier to get it done in, but until then, it is indeed Eternal Fire that have themselves a chance at going further.
Yeah, Eyeballers, we say bye ballers. It's not their qualifier today for the 3rd one. They'll be back for the 4th. Hopefully, we'll get to see them shine, but for Eternal Fire...